Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, my log wants to review Twin Peaks. So, David Lynch passed recently and I watched his films, and of course I want to watch Twin Peaks. Now, normally I would wait until February to watch Twin Peaks because Laura was killed on the 22nd of February, so I would normally watch Twin Peaks in February. But, I had to do it a month early. And first was the issue of how to view it. Do we watch Firewalk With Me first? Do we watch the missing pieces in between, before or after? And fortunately, someone actually edited or has put online all the individual scenes from Firewalk With Me and the missing pieces in chronological order, and has also done an edit of Twin Peaks The Return that basically just has the scenes from Twin Peaks and the ones that are directly related to those characters, and gets rid of all the extra stuff that you put into the Return. So it's 8 episodes, and some of them are as short as 23 minutes. 2 of them are over 60 minutes, most of them are 40, 50 minutes. So about half of it's removed. So that's the version I watched, which is someone else's edit of David Lynch's works. Is that an insult? Am I disrespecting him? I don't know. I have the complete series on Blu-ray, DVD twice, and I've paid Lynch enough money to watch whatever scenes in whatever order I want, so that's how I did it. But so let's start with Firewalk With Me. Now, Firewalk With Me is a very dark film. It is a very traumatic film. I cry for Laura every time I watch it. It's heartbreaking and it's traumatic. It doesn't have really any of the humour or weirdness or ridiculous elements that they put into the series, particularly the second season. It's just grim, but at the same time, you do have that light at the end. So I don't hate it. I don't really enjoy it. I do dread watching it at times because some scenes are so hard. The scene I'm talking about, that ends with the scream. I've been seeing that in a theatre, in the Astor Theatre, with amazing sound of our audience, just the dead silence afterwards, and just it's a horrific scene. So I tend to put off watching the film because of a couple of scenes in it, but the rest of it I enjoy. I've grown more fond of the scene at the start with Chester Desmond, and that particularly since I met Chris Isaac, and he was very nice. So obviously I didn't get rid of any of those scenes, but I didn't watch the alternative take of the scene in Hap's Diner. I just realised I actually didn't watch that. But either way, you start off with Teresa Banks' murder, and let's not read into the TV screen being destroyed at the start of the film, and then we go into the investigation of her murder and how that ends with Chester Desmond disappearing, not really solving anything, and disappearing. Then a year later, or a bit later after that, we have almost a year later, we have Dale Cooper, who is sensing what's coming. He has an awareness of what's happening. He's been having dreams, and he has some connection to Laura, and they've shared the same dreams and so forth. So there's some interesting scenes about that, with, of course, Jeffries and everything. And I'm not going to try to explain it all or rationalise it all, because part of me is happy to let the film have mystery and let the series have mystery. The people who feel they have to conquer it, they have to actually work it out and explain it all as some sort of dominance over art. Like, well, I can't create art, but I can decode it and deconstruct it. I don't have that impulse. I'm fine with art to exist and to be something sort of to experience and observe, because I'm an artist. So I think that comes with that. But I'm happy just to focus on the scenes of Laura and what happened to her, the last 7 days of Laura. I don't really need the rest of it, but it is still there. And then when you go into the series, it's an easier transition if you're focusing more on Laura and the character, because so much of the elements from Firewalk With Me are not really introduced until further on into the first season anyway. So basically we see Laura go through her issues of addiction, her hiding from the abuse that she's suffering, and does she really not know who it is? Does she not see? Does she choose not to see? These are elements that we're never really sure of. Was she hiding it from herself? Was it hidden from her? And there are elements like that I'm okay to not really know, and it's okay. I know other people will explain it all in detail and pat themselves on the back for it, even though it conflicts with everyone else's versions. But they all think they're true. It's kind of like religion. Everyone's like, my God's the real God. Just forget about all those other ones and how that contradicts everything I believe. As you can see, I'm not really fond. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts in relation to Twin Peaks in the last day or so, and it's annoying how many people think they've worked it out. And this impulse to work it out, part of it is just fun. It's just fun to look into a mystery and explore it, but to have to sort of feel like they've conquered it and they've worked it out, so they can like sit back and relax and be like, oh, that's done. I defeated that. I find that impulse a bit disturbing. But so we go through all the incidents. We see most of the things that we hear about in the series. Now, a couple of things I'm surprised they didn't do, because they had Joan Chen back as Josie, but they didn't have her in the scene with Laura, her final lesson on, I think, the last day of her death, where she was instructing her on English. And there were some hints of lesbianism or attraction or some relationship with Laura. They could have played on that. It could have been an amazing scene, because Joan's beautiful and Cheryl is beautiful. So, but surprisingly, they just have her working out a issue with 2x4s with Pete. So that was a opportunity missed. Just like they could have had Jacoby back and actually showed him going through some of Laura's lessons and so forth. I mean, therapy sessions and so forth. So a couple of opportunities missed there, but for the most part we just see, all the things that were explained. We just get to see it and feel it. And the thing I love is that at the end you see that Laura does get her salvation. She does get her angel, and I'm happy with that being at that time the ending of Twin Peaks, because although it was a prequel, I think Lynch wanted to show that she basically had a happy ending. And even though she's still got a doppelganger in the lodge and so forth that we see, because when Cooper saw her, it was in dreams, so she wasn't dead yet. But later when we see her, it's a doppelganger. And I really don't care about what happens to the doppelgangers. I don't believe that affects the person and the spirit of the person. So she got a happy ending, and I was happy with that. And it sort of almost makes the series a bit less painful, because she's already gone, she's moved on. Now it's everyone else dealing with what happened to her. She's not like stuck in some limbo or something waiting to be saved. So I love the film because it takes this tragic character, this person that everyone loved, and explains her, shows her some humanity, and gives her a resolution and a peace and a freedom. And a lot of people have talked about how they relate to her and what she's gone through, and there's even been a book written about it. And you sort of go on that journey with her, and it's important for that salvation and that redemption, because a lot of people who are feeling what she's going through need to feel that as well. So I love the film. I mean, I never saw it in the cinema back in the day, of course. I saw it for the first time on video. I bought my own copy of it because I had to have it. I bought, I think, 3 different versions on DVD, and it's included in the Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray as well, and it's included in the entire mystery with the missing pieces, which for years we'd heard about an hour or so of deleted scenes, that the film originally was like 3.5 to 4 hours long. And we never thought we'd see them. There was talk of cuts that had been snuck out. There was scripts. I had a printed script for years. And it was a miracle to have David Lynch release all these scenes and actually put them together as like a little alternative film, almost, the missing pieces. You can watch the two, because you can't, because of some of the clashes between some of the edited scenes and the completed scenes, and just the differences between them. You can't really view them as one unless you heavily edit it and remove a few things. But I mean, some people have done it. Apparently there was an original cut, but there is also reconstructed cuts. What I watched was the individual scenes, and the ones that were duplicated, I just sort of picked one whether it was the original scene or the deleted scene, alternate scene. So that's how I watched it, and it still has the same impact. Like I said, I wanted to watch Twin Peaks. I delayed it for about almost 2 days because as much as I love Fire Walk with Me and I love the ending, I hate that it's painful to see Laura go through what she does, and it's traumatizing, and I'm re-traumatized every time I watch that film. But at the same time, I also have that hope for that feeling of her redemption and that hope for that character as well. So I'm going to go for free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, and come with me for the rest of my little journey through Twin Peaks. I'm going to review, all 3 seasons, the pilot, and so forth, and also do a little bit of an examination myself of people's insistent examination of the film and the series and the whole thing.